Yes, thank you. Hi, everyone. On behalf of the Oxford team, I introduce to you our project, the Tweet Mimic. This is a project that uses NLP, natural language processing, and AI to imitate tweets based on the user's prompt and the computer's analysis of the chosen Twitter account. Using NLP, we were able to analyze several large Twitter data sets to recognize the patterns. Our generator can then create tweets imitating the patterns that it has found in the world's biggest Twitter influences. Now I'll hand it over to Kosi to introduce the Oxford team.
Hi, my name is Kosi Okaro. I am project manager, and I predominantly worked on the HTML and CSS attributes of the website.
I'm Jasper, and I mainly worked on the API and the debugging a lot of things.
I'm Max Liu. I worked a bit on the back end and also for writing stuff for the website.
I'm Max I, and I mostly helped with the models and other aspects of the backend.
I'm Max Maiers, and I worked on the backend and the cleaning the data.
I'm Shriya. I worked with the data set, HTML, and wherever I could.
And finally, we have Robert, our wonderful TA who helped us in many points along in our project, and our professor, Alex, who also guided us through lectures to ensure that we were able to understand the material. So now I'd like to take you through a demonstration of how our product works. And so as Shriya mentioned in her introduction, basically how it works is that the user, chooses a person that you'd like to imitate from this drop-down list. And then you can type in this input box and submit it, and your tweet will generate here. So as a demonstration, I'd like to invite anyone to just unmute or type in the chat from this list who they like to see an imitation of.
How about NASA?
So I have Elon Musk in the chat
yeah.
and NASA. We can do both. So what would you like the prompt to be for the person who chose Elon Musk? Or for anyone can just mention a prompt. Dogecoin, okay. This is technically a good design, okay. And so for NASA, to the moon, all right. Oh, oops, I accidentally reloaded. To the moon, Astro Kimbrough is no stranger to space. And so that's very cool. And another part of this, which was created by Jasper, was we actually have a Twitter page, which would, where the tweets that are generated through this generator, as soon as you hit submit, they're uploaded to the bot's Twitter account. So now you can see these tweets that we just generated right here. So it'll output the prompt and the response, which I think is really cool. And now I'll pass it over to Jasper, who's instrumental in developing this part of our product, and who'll explain the first of our steps that we used in the project.
So the first thing we needed to do before anything else was getting data from searching far and wide the internet. We looked at, or attempted to at least, to get data sets from specific people. And if we could not, then we decided to use Twitter's API and TweetBee and some of our sanity to create our own data set and use that to train our models. I'm going to pass it off to Max M for the next step.
For the second step, we had to clean the data so that the AI could properly understand the tweets. We did this by using a Python script to comb through the data to remove things that the AI might have trouble understanding, such as extra white spaces, emojis, links, and symbols. This allowed the AI to give better responses as the data was more precise.
So what we did for step 3 is we used GPT-Neo. GPT-Neo is an NLP machine learning model established by O3 AI, It is based on OpenAI's GPT-2 and GPT-3 models. Since OpenAI has not open sourced its most recent GPT-3 model, Luther AI's publication of GPT-Neo allows it to accomplish much more. Our models use GPT-Neo with AI Text Gen, which is basically a package which uses GPT-Neo with Python using PyTorch. Each personality had a separate model using GPT-Neo that was trained specifically on tweets from that personality, which we did using both public datasets from Kaggle and scraping tweets from Twitter using the Twitter API. I'm going to pass it off to Kosi for step 4.
Okay, so for our 4th step, we had to find ways to integrate the features we wanted onto our website by manipulating HTML and CSS and constantly testing to ensure our Python-based models compatibility. Making sure our elements were readable and interactable was another task, as well as linking each output to our Twitter page. Nice page did not have all the functionalities that we wanted, and just handwriting that HTML was also very important. And for our 5th step, in conclusion, we basically had to debug our code and just make sure everything was working and everything was clean. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we gained great tactical experience and we were able to exhibit persistence and learn from our mistakes. Thank you so much for listening in. If you have any questions or comments, make sure to unmute and ask, and please follow us.